chapter of A Treasure Discovery by LizzeXX. We are on chapter 5, and I believe we're still continuing on with the long game. So, yeah, if you want to follow along, chat the link to both fanfiction.net as well as archive of our own are in the description below for you to follow along. And of course, at the end of the chapter, you can still leave a review, comment, kudos, whatever, to the author to let them know you're enjoying the story because this is their work. I'm just sharing it. So, yeah, let's just get right into this, shall we? Chapter 5 The Long Game Pipes and Plumbing. Suki paced agitatedly in the lift, so nervous and excited until it finally reached floor 500 and the doors opened. She looked out beyond the doors, only to see the floor covered in frost and snow, which was gently falling from the ceiling. She carefully picked up her bag and walked out of the lift into a corridor. She looked around nervously when the doors bleeped and shut behind her, trapping her. She turned and threw her weight against them, trying to open them, scared, but it was useless. She sighed, turning back around and pulling a torch from her bag. She turned it on and cautiously started to walk down the corridor. A small sound reached her from the end of it, and she slowly followed it, only to find herself in what looked like a disused room much like the one she worked in. Tangled, tangled, hold on, I got the word. A tangled platform, chair, and all. She stepped forward, placing her hand on the chair, only for a rotten corpse to fall into view. She turned around, seeing 8 other corpses sitting around the edges of the platform. She fled from the room, pushing through the hanging plastic, hurrying away, when she caught sight of a light down the hall. She ran towards it, finding herself in what seemed like a control room, or a security room. There was a line of people sitting at the controls, their hands on the pads, unmoving, as a man stood there with white hair, waving her over. She put the torch back in her bag and walked up some steps towards him. "For you? I'm the editor," he introduced. "What's happening? There are bodies out there. What's going on?" "Well, while we're asking questions, would you please confirm your name?" he began, snapping his fingers. A projection of Suki appeared between them, clearly recorded for when she had applied for her job. "I am Suki Macrae Cacho," the projection started. "I was born 199'89' of the Independent Republic of Morocco." "Liar!" the editor snapped. Suki looked over at him, shocked. "Hobbies include reading and archaeology? I'm not an expert or anything. I just like digging." "Liar!" she repeated as she started to eye him with more boldness. He snapped his fingers and the recording sped up to a different point. "I want to work for Satellite 5 because my sister can't afford university." The editor just shook his head at that. "The pay scheme is really good." "Liar!" he shouted as she stared at him defiantly now. "Let's look at the facts, shall we?" He snapped his fingers again and another projection started, this time with Suki in a trench, wearing army attire and firing a gun as she shot it at her comrades. "Ah, hidden behind a genetic graft. That's still you, Eva San Julian, last surviving member of the Freedom 15. Self-declared Artifice. Is that right?" Suki, no, Eva, suddenly pulled out a gun and pointed it at the editor. "Who controls Satellite 5? She demanded, her voice now harsh and cold. The editor raised his hands slowly in the air, looking shocked for only a moment before he burst out laughing and lowered them. "There's the truth. The Freedom Foundation has been monitoring Satellite 5's transmissions. We have absolute proof that the facts are being manipulated. You are lying to the people." "Oh, love it. Say it again." "The whole system is corrupt." She stepped forward, gun ready. "Who do you represent?" "I'm merely a humble slave. I answer to an editor-in-chief." "Well, who is he? Where is he?" "He's overseeing everything. Literally everything." "Never mind. I'm gonna have to refer this upwards." He clicked his fingers and pointed up. The roaring started again. Eva immediately pointed her gun at the ceiling. "What is that?" she asked, now scared. "Your boss. This has always been your boss, since the day you were born." Eva fired ineffectively in the direction of the creature, but it poured down on her. She screamed. Angel shivered suddenly, making the doctor look over at her. "All right there." She nodded. "Just got a chill." "What, in this place?" Rose asked, fanning herself. "It was boiling on floor 139. "I suppose," Angel mumbled, glancing at the lift doors as they followed Kathia away from them. Adam entered the observation deck, looking out over the earth for a few moments before turning his attention to the computer behind him. He placed his hand on the handset ahead. "Give me access," he said, and the computer sprung to life. He stretched his hand away and paused. "I can learn anything," he muttered to himself, his eyes wide at the possibility of what that could mean. He looked around, making sure no one was watching, before turning back to the screen. He placed his hand on the group once more. "Let's try, computers from the 21st century to the present day. Give me the history of the microprocessor." The computer started to stream the information to Adam as he looked on amazed. "Oh my God." Kathia entered the workroom with the three travelers following her. "Look, they've only give us 20 minutes maintenance. Couldn't you give it a rest?" "But you've never been to another floor." The doctor shook his head. "Not even one floor down." He settled himself comfortably in the high-tech chair while Rose leaned back on it, Angel just standing beside him. "I went to floor 16 when I first arrived. That's medical. That's where I got my head done. And then I came straight here. Satellite 5, you work, eat, and sleep on the same floor. That's it. That's all." She paused, looking at them. "You're not management, are you?" At last, the doctor grinned. "She's clever. Yeah, well, whatever it is, don't involve me. I don't know anything." "Don't you even ask?" Angel eyed her. "Well, why would I?" She rolled her eyes. "We're jealous," the doctor cried. "Why is all the crew human?" "What's that got to do with anything? There's no aliens aboard. Why?" "I don't know. No real reason. They're not banned or anything." The doctor gave the empty room a glance. "Then where are they?" "I suppose immigration is tying up," she began, so they could all tell she was stumped. "I had to, what with all the threats." "What threats?" Angel asked. "I don't know," she said, frustrated and lost. "All of them. Usual stuff. And the price of space doubled, so that kept the visitors away." She turned to walk around a bit, the trio watching her intently. "Oh, and the government on Traffic 5 collapsed, so Pat stopped coming. You see, there's lots of little reasons, that's all." "Adding up to one great fact, and you didn't even notice," the doctor stated. "Doctor, I think if there was any kind of conspiracy, Satellite 5 would have seen it. We see everything. I can see better. This society is the wrong shape. Even the technology. It's cutting edge. It's backwards. There's a great big door in your head. You should have chucked this out years ago." "So what do you think is going on?" Rose frowned. "Just this space station. It's the whole attitude. It's the way people think. The great and bountiful human empire is stunted. Something's holding it back. And how would you know?" Kathia scoffed. "Trust me." The doctor turned to her. "Humanity's been set back about 90 years," Angel cut in, before glancing up at Kathia. "When did Satellite 5 stop broadcasting?" 91 years ago," Kathia breathed. The doctor nodded as Kathia looked away, shaken. Adam stood in front of the computer terminal on Rose's mobile. "Mum, Dad, keep this message, okay? Whatever you do, don't erase it. Save it. You got that?" He placed his hand on the pad once more, speaking into the mobile as the information streamed before him. The microprocessor became redundant in the year 2019 when it was replaced by a system called SMT, that's Singular Molecule Transcription. Suddenly, the information cut up and the words floor 16 appeared on the screen. "No, no, 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 no." He glared at the screen. Hopefully that was enough no's. "What are you doing? Come back, come..." He kicked the base of the computer, looking behind him to check if anyone heard him, and then back at the computer. Why are you doing that? But the words remained. What's floor 16? What's down there? Adam stepped off the lift to floor 16, looking around a room lined with desks, people sitting behind them, talking to members of staff dressed in red. He walked past them all till he reached one on the end where a nurse was sitting, unoccupied. Sorry, he approached her. Floor 16, that's, what do you cover? Medical non-emergency, she replied. Right, wrong floor. I'm having technical difficulties. My computer keeps freezing, blocking me out. No, that's medical. There must be something wrong with your chip. Yes, yeah, of course. Yeah. He laughed, pausing. I haven't got one. The nurse rolled her eyes. No wonder you can't get a screw to work. What are you, a student? Yes, yeah, he thought quickly, sitting down before her. I'm on a research project from, he trailed off, the University of Mars? She rolled her eyes again. The Martian boondocks, typical. Yep. Well, you still need chipping. So, does that mean, like, brain surgery? That's an old-fashioned phrase. But it's the same thing, yes. Oh, okay. Never mind. He leaned back before pointing at her. But if I get a chip, that means I could use any computer. Absolutely. You'll have to pay for it. They've stopped subsidizing. Oh! Adam's eyes went. Right. Sorry. Wasting your time. Thanks. He got up and moved to leave, but only made it a few paces before he stopped and put his hand in his pocket. Hold on. Can I use this? He pulled out the credit stick. That'll do nicely, she smirked. Adam sat on what looked like an upgraded dentist chair in some sort of operating room when the nurse approached him. It all comes down to two basic types, she explained, pushing him back on the chair and putting a strange metal band above his head. Type 1, the head chip, inserted into the back of the skull, 100 credit. There's the chip. She placed the chip on her finger and showed it to him. Tiny, invisible. 2 type is the full info spike. Oh, that's the... He swallowed, pointing to his forehead and imitating the spike noise. Thing. That's the one. It does cost 10,000. Oh, well, I couldn't afford it then. He breathed a sigh of relief, having second thoughts about it all. Not at all. Turns out you've got unlimited credit. She held up the credit stick to show him. No, but I can have it done. I mean, that's gotta hurt, hasn't it? Painless. Contractual guarantee. He laughed nervously. No, my mate's waiting upstairs. I can't have major surgery. It takes 10 minutes. That sort of money buys a very fast Pitco surgeon. Adam tensed as she circled the chair in a somewhat predatory nature. He smiled, unsure. No, but I couldn't. No, it's... The nurse leaned in close to him. Type 1, you can interface with a simple computer. Type 2, you are the computer. You can transmit any piece of information from the archive of Satellite 5, which is just about the entire history of the human race. Now, which one is it gonna be? Kathia was anxious as she stood beside the doctor, Rose, and Angel as the doctor proceeded to scan the side of the door with the sonic. We're so gonna get in trouble, she remarked, coming to stand by Rose and Angel behind him. You're not allowed to touch the mainframe. You're gonna get told off. Rose, tell her to button it, the doctor called. You can't just vandalize the place. Someone's gonna notice. Kathia whispered urgently. The doctor just wrenched the door open. I don't understand, the editor shouted angrily as he watched the group of travelers and Kathia on the monitor. We did a full security scan. That man and those women were there when we found Suki McCrae Cantrell. There were no indications about them, yet here they are. He knelt down by Eva, who was now sitting at a terminal, staring ahead blankly, her skin pale from the cold, hard at work, clearly acting outside the parameters. He looked back at the screen. Fascinating. He leapt to his feet as the creature on the ceiling started growling again. Yes, sir. Absolutely. At once. He walked along the line of workers. Check him. Double check him. Triple check him. Quadruple. The creature rumbled. This has nothing to do with me. I'm going back to work. Kathia backed away as the doctor just kept fiddling. Go on then, he shouted. See ya. She stopped. I can't just leave you, can I? You'd be useful. Get them to turn the heating down. Rose turned to her. It's boiling. What's wrong with this place? Can't they do something about it? I don't know. We keep asking. Something to do with the turbine? Something to do with the turbine, the doctor mocked. Well, I don't know. Exactly. I give up on you, Kathia. Now, Rose. Look at Rose. Rose smiled. Rose is asking the right kind of questions. Oh, thank you, Rose winked. Why is it so hot? One minute you're worried about the Empire, and the next it's central heating? Kathia rolled her eyes. Well, never underestimate plumbing. Plumbing's very important. And then he accidentally snapped a bunch of wires off the wall. Kathia looked away, just knowing they'd get caught for this. Security scan complete, the computer announced. Well, who are they? The editor asked. Who is he? He is no one. He laughed, not understanding. What does that mean? He is no one. What, you mean he has a fake ID? He has no identification. But everyone's registered. We have a census for the entire empire. He has no one. What, he doesn't exist? Not anywhere. He is no one. What about the blonde? She is no one. Well, what about his sister then? She is no one. All of them, he shouted, incredulous. Well, we all know what happens to non-entities. He grinned, devious. They get promoted. He turned to another decaying woman working away. Bring them up. He patted her shoulder, grinning. The doctor grinned as he managed to hack into the mainframe, turning the screen to Kathia. Here we go. Satellite 5. Pipes and plumbing. Look at the layout. He moved to stand behind her so she could see, but she just frowned. This is ridiculous. You've got access to the computer's core. You could look at the archive, the news, the stock exchange, and you're looking at pipes? But there's something wrong, Angel replied quietly. Kathia glanced at her curiously before turning back to the screen. I suppose. Why? What is it? Rose frowned, not seeing it. But then again, she wasn't all that familiar with Satellite 5. The ventilation system, cooling ducts, ice filters, all working flat out, channeling massive amounts of heat down, all the way from the top, the doctor agreed. 500, Rose breathed. Something up there is generating tons and tons of heat. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm missing out on a party, Rose grinned. It's all going on upstairs. Fancy a trip? You can't. You need a key, Kathia reminded them. Keys are just codes, and I've got the codes right here. He gestured to the screen, tapping a few keys. Here we go. Override 215.9. How come it's giving you the code? Angel looked up at the security camera. Someone up there likes us. The editor laughed as he watched them on the screen. They would have no idea what was in store for them. Adam ran his hand over his smooth, normal-looking forehead as the nurse stood beside him, examining himself in a mirror. I told you it was painless, she remarked. No scarring, you see? Perfect success. How do I activate it? He asked her. It's a personal choice. Some people whistle. I know one man who triggers it with, oh, damn boy, but you're set on default now. That's a click of the fingers. Seeing the nurse raised her fingers, ready to click. Click. The lift opened on floor 139. Rose, the doctor, and Angel stepping into it. Kathia stopping outside of it. Come on, come with us, Rose urged the woman. No way. She took a step back. Bye, the doctor waved. Angel glanced at him before waving as well. Oh, don't mention my name. When you get in trouble, just don't involve me. That's her gone, the doctor commented as Kathia stormed off. Adam's given up. Looks like it's just the three of us. The doctor grinned at both of them on either side of him. Yeah. Rose smiled back. Good. I agree, Angel said. They all grinned at each other as the doctor slid a card into the controls and the door shut. The lift started to climb rapidly as Angel shifted uncomfortably. The doctor looked over at her, seeing it, and reached out, taking her hand. Adam clicked his fingers, the door opening in his head, revealing his brain. He fingered the shutters around the hole with his mouth open for a few seconds before clicking his fingers again to close it, shaking, rapidly growing pale. He flopped back into his seat. Oh my god, he gasped. I'm gonna be sick. He retched terribly, and a vomit-colored ice cube stuck out of his mouth. He took it between his fingers, looking at it in confusion. Special offer, the nurse explained. But it's still the vomit. Aromatic at the same time. Nanothermites have been placed in the lining of your throat. In the event of sickness, she held out a bowl to him. They freeze the waste. Adam just placed the ice cube into the bowl, peering down at it. The lift opened to reveal floor 500, covered in frost and snow as they stepped into it. The walls are not made of gold, the doctor muttered, before something drifted back to him. He looked over at Angel, who was staring up at the lightly falling snow with a frown. The walls were not gold, they were ice. And if she was right about that, then what about the other words she had used to describe the floor? He quickly turned back to Rose and Angel. You should go back downstairs. Tough, Rose remarked, striding in. The doctor watched her go a moment before looking over at Angel. He reached out and took her hand, tugging her after Rose. Angel frowned as they followed the blonde woman. She just couldn't help but feel like Rose sometimes treated the trips with the doctor far too easily, like it was no danger at all, like it was just a dream and a fun little trip rather than a serious matter that could end her life at any moment. She shook her head. No, Rose wouldn't die. She'd make sure of that. Barbara liked her. Rose was so kind to her. She helped her select the outfit she was wearing now. She hadn't thought the outfit she picked originally was so bad, though. A floral printed button-up shirt, orange pants, and a scarf of purple feathers with shoes that were about 3 inches thick on the bottom. Rose had taken one look at it and started laughing, which had made her laugh as well, though she still wasn't sure what was funny, though. But she supposed it was just humor. Rose had taken her by the hand on a wander through the wardrobe, till she claimed to have found the perfect outfit. And she had to admit, she did love the clothes she was wearing now, much more comfortable and very her. Rose had beamed when she stepped out, saying it was much better and she looked lovely, which made her smile. Rose was kind like that. They soon found themselves in a large control room, the editor standing before them watching the screens. I started without you, he told them, not looking up. This is fascinating. Satellite 5 contains every piece of information within the full, great, and bountiful human empire. Birth certificates, shopping habits, bank statements. But you three, you don't exist. They looked right at him as he laughed. Not a trace. No birth, no job, not the slightest kiss. How do you walk through the world and not leave a single footprint? Rose spotted Eva sitting with a row of people before one of the terminals and made her way over. Suki! She knelt down next to her, but Eva made no move. Suki? Hello? Can you hear me? Suki? She glared back at the editor. What have you done to her? I think she's dead, the doctor replied grimly, eyeing the unmoving line of people. She's working. They've all got chips in their head, and the chips keep going like puppets. Oh, the editor cheered. You're full of information. But it's only fair we get information back, because apparently you're no one. He laughed as the doctor nodded. It's fair not to know something. Who are you? Doesn't matter, because we're off. The doctor glared at him. Nice to meet you. Rose, hurry, Angel called to her. They turned to go. 3 of the dead employees grabbed onto them, 2 holding the doctor back, 1 holding Angel. Rose moved to help them, only for Eva's corpse to grab her arm as well. Tell me who you are, the editor yelled persistently. Since that information is keeping us alive, I'm hardly going to say, am I? The doctor replied. The man just smirked. Well, perhaps my editor-in-chief could convince you otherwise. And who's that? It may interest you to know that this is not the full, great, and bountiful human empire. In fact, it's not actually human at all. It's merely a place where humans happen to live. Something above them growled, sounding angry. Yeah, sorry. It's a place where humans are allowed to live by kind permission of my client. He took his fingers and jerked one up at the creature in the ceiling. They glanced up, their eyes widening at the blob of alien with a slobbering mouthful of sharp, snapping teeth bearing down on them. What is that? Rose breathed. nervous, a bit frightened. You mean that thing's in charge of Satellite 5? The doctor stared up at him. At it. That thing, as you put it, is in charge of the human race. The editor glared as the doctor looked at him in shock. For almost 100 years, mankind has been shaped and guided, his knowledge and ambitions strictly controlled by its broadcast used by my superior, your master, and humanity's guiding light, the mighty Jaggerfest of the holy hydrojasics, Maximum It roared loudly as the editor smiled. I call him Max. The doctor smiled grimly and nodded. And that's the end of chapter 5. And we also have a nice little picture on archive if you want to go check that out too. But yeah, so that's the end of chapter 5. No interesting comments from Angel, but from the sound of it, it looks from the story, it sounds like Adam was like a little unsure. Maybe the nurse was like the villain, like because she was pushing him to do it. But I mean, he still shouldn't have done it. But yeah, that's chapter 5. If you like this chapter, leave a like. Go leave a review. There are links to 2 sites to use. You don't have to have an account for either of them to like leave a review or kudos or a comment, whatever you want to do, whatever floats your boat, so to speak. Go, 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 go. We're now at the end of the story. But yeah. So, like, and be sure to subscribe. I upload new videos Fridays and Saturdays, and I'll see you guys next Friday with a new video.